Always appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. That's good for the algorithm. That really helps me. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody about the show. And of course, everything ZASLOW Show 2.0 is presented by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. If you've been involved in an accident, got to make sure you're taken care of. Can't do everything on your own, all right? And that's why I send you to the only guys I trust, the best accident attorneys around, Anidjar and Levine, Mark Anidjar, Glenn Levine, Ellie Anidjar. Those guys have been behind me from the very beginning, so obviously I trust them. I'm going to send you to them if you're dealing with an injury. You got to make sure you get compensated, all right? Car accident, motorcycle, boat, slip and fall. Get an attorney on the phone immediately. Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. Very upset about the Panthers' loss last night. I'm sticking a fork in them. They're done. I know I did that about a month ago, but they're done. Panthers are done. With 8 games remaining, you can't lose 4 consecutive games. We'll circle right back to that in a second, because we actually have a really fun show planned today. We're in a good mood today because this is a double guest show. We got 2 guests joining the program today. We're going to talk NBA, Meadowlark Media, The Athletic, Cinephobe, Zach Harper. We like him a lot. He's going to join the show. We'll talk some hoops with him. Obviously, we got to talk movies as well, all right? I told you, I saw John Wick this weekend. We'll see what he's been into recently, so we'll do a little bit of that with him. Excited to have Zach Harper back on the program. I'm even more excited to welcome a University of Miami Hall of Famer on the show today. When I think of Canes basketball, there's one guy that comes to my mind first. He's got his number retired. He's in the Hall of Fame. Jack McClinton is going to join the program. I haven't spoken to Jack in a few years. I'm super excited to get Jack McClinton on ZASLOW Show 2.0 for the very first time. One of my all-time favorite Miami Hurricanes. Jack McClinton will be on the show today. You're not going to want to miss that. Before we get into this important stuff. So, I got to tell you, I watched the season premiere, the season 4 premiere, final season of Succession on HBO is underway. And it's a weekly episodic television show, 10 episodes. I point that out because nowadays we're so used to being able to do the binging, right? But sometimes I like having to wait the week. I like the anticipation sometimes. I like the build sometimes. I like that. Now, Succession isn't necessarily one of these shows, but I like when it's an event and we're all watching together. You know, Sopranos was like that. Game of Thrones is like that. Breaking Bad is like that. Succession's not like that. But I'm using those as examples of how I don't mind once in a while when my favorite show is a weekly episodic show. And we're not just binging it all and I'm done with it in 10 episodes. If Succession was bingeable, if it all came out at once, I'd be done with it in 2 days, easily. And then it's like I waited all this time to be done with it in 2 days. I don't want to be done with it in 2 days. So, I watched Succession, I watched the premiere yesterday. And I got to tell you, I tweeted out yesterday, this is a top 5 all-time show. Just the writing is so good, the acting, it's so witty, it's fast-paced, it's quick. It's funny, but it's not a comedy. It's not a comedy. And I tweet out that it's top 5. It might be higher. Like my all-time favorite shows, all right? The Wire, no particular order. The Wire, Game of Thrones, Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad, and let's throw in Succession. I think those are probably, it's so hard. There's so many good shows. But those are like the greatest, I think. So you mentioned Sopranos. Obviously, yeah, Sopranos amazing. Succession might be top 3. It really might. It is an all-time great show. And I feel like it flies a little under the radar. But just the acting is incredible. The writing is incredible. The characters are so detestable, but I love all the characters. There's some shows where when they're dealing with a certain storyline with one of the characters, that storyline's boring. I don't feel that way about any of the... I love every character. All three... I love to hate every character, I guess. All three of the siblings, their half-sibling, who, of course, Connor, who was Cameron Fry in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 35 years ago. Brian Cox playing Logan Roy. Every character on this show. Tom Wamgans. Greg the Egg. Every character on the show. I'm into every story that's going on. And yes, the stories, it's all completely intertwined. It's really one story. But anytime the focus is on one particular character or two particular characters at a time, I'm not like, all right, let's move on. Let's get to someone else. Nope. Every character on the show is equally detestable, and I love them all. I guess I'm upset that this is the final season. But like I said, sometimes you like it when a show is weekly episodic. So I'm not going to blow through it right away. So I'm so glad that Succession is back. Watched the season premiere yesterday. It's a phenomenal show. Incredible show. I can't get enough of it. All right. Super excited for the show today. Let's get a couple things out of the way here, okay? First of all, one of our newest sponsors here on ZASLOW Show 2.0, Water Cleanup of Florida. The Greenstein boys, they're going to take care of any kind of damage you have. May have come from a leak, may have come from a fire. Look, when disaster strikes in your home or your business, you need to make sure you get specialized, fast, and reliable services. No one wants to deal with this kind of mess. And that's why I send you to guys that I trust. Water Cleanup of Florida, they know how unexpected property damage, it's going to take over your life, all right? You don't have time for this. The Water Cleanup of Florida team, they're prepared to handle disasters of all sizes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, fully licensed, insured, and general contractor that provides you that one-stop shopping that busy home and business owners you require. So you don't have to worry about making a bunch of different calls. It's your one-stop shop serving all the Tri-County area. Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. Follow them on social, Facebook and Instagram, Water Cleanup of Florida. Call or text immediately when you think you may have a problem. Let's take care of it right away. 954-900-8635. Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. Or go to WCUFL.com. Water Cleanup of Florida, we clean up your schmutz. Love having them on board. Love new sponsors. If you're interested in getting on board ZASLOW Show 2.0, we're still in the growing stages of the program. I think we're in month number 5, right? Let's see. We started the very end of October, so that should be easy to figure out. October to December, that's 2 months. And then December that's a new year. It takes you to January. So let's add another month there. So that's 3 months. Now we're at the end of January. Now it's a new year. So we're at 3 months. January is the first month. We're at the end of March. That's a third month. Let's add 2 more. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 months. 5 months we're into ZASLOW. That's how we do it. So I don't even need an abacus. 5 months now. We're into ZASLOW Show 2.0. If you're interested in getting involved, still, like I said, in the infancy stages of the program here, you hit me up, you get in touch. We'll see if your business is a good match. If it works for you, we'll see if it works for me, and maybe we could do something together. So always love bringing on new sponsors like Water Cleanup of Florida right there. So the Panthers here, and then I want to get to Jack McClinton, okay, because he's going to make us all feel really good. I'm super excited to catch up with him. The Panthers, they lose last night. They lose 5-2 in Ottawa. It's the start of a Canadian road trip, which continues tomorrow night in Toronto and then Montreal. Panthers are done. The Panthers, after such a shit first half of the year, they finally are playing great hockey where they win 6 out of 7. They finally get to that second wild card playoff spot. And from that point now, they've lost 4 in a row. And not just lost 4 in a row, they've lost all 4 in regulation. No points in the last 4 games. 8 possible points, and the Panthers pick up none of them, with losses to the terrible Flyers, get their ass kicked by the Maple Leafs, lose to the Rangers in a game they led 2-0, and last night they lose to Ottawa. It was 3-2 in the third, a terrible penalty from Anton Lundell. What the fuck are you doing? A terrible penalty from Anton Lundell. They score on the power play there. It was with about 4 minutes left in the game. So you're toast. They go down 4-2. They still pull the goalie 5-2. Bobrovsky was very good yesterday. Would you have liked him to have made that save on the power play that made it 4-2? Yes. But he also made some other sensational saves throughout the game that kept the Panthers in it, especially after the first period when they're down 2-0. Lundell takes a terrible penalty. The Panthers' season is over. It's over. This team is done. And you know what? They tricked me last week. And it's not shame on them. That's shame on me. I felt for the rope-a-dope. I said, you know what? They've won 6 out of 7. Finally, the Panthers are looking like the Panthers. Why would I take that small sample size and think that it erases the previous 70 games before that? No. I fell for it. The murderer of fun, he tricked me, and the Panthers, they're done. They're done. It's so disappointing. I don't even want to look at the standings. Because you just take my word for it. They're done. But let's look at the standings. So the Panthers, the Islanders win last night. Islanders hosted a great Devils team. Beat them up. Islanders win. Penguins were off last night. So the Panthers now are 3 points back still of the Penguins. Penguins now have a game in hand. That's bad. And now the Panthers are 6 points back of the Islanders, and the Islanders have a game in hand. They're screwed. That's it. They're done. 3 back of Pittsburgh, 6 back of the Islanders. So let's forget about the Islanders. And the Islanders have a game in hand. So now, you got one position available to you. If we want to play in fairy tale land and see what it would take for the Panthers to make the postseason, which they're not. They're 3 back of Pittsburgh. Penguins have a game in hand. Excuse me, let me correct myself. The Panthers have a game in hand on the Islanders, but they're 6 back. The Penguins have a game in hand on the Panthers. Panthers are 3 points back. Both scenarios there are a big giant shitburger. This team is done. Season's over. It's so disappointing. Like I said, you finally pull into that wild card spot. You won 6 out of 7, and you followed up with 4 straight losses. 2 of them you play like shit. And again, the penalties, that penalty from Lundell last night. It's a face-off. You're down 3-2. It feels like the Panthers are coming. It feels like they're inching toward a tying goal here. Forsling has the first 2. Panthers getting a lot of chances. I mean, Anthony Duclair, don't be afraid to finish. I mean, he had 3 golden opportunities throughout the game. Don't be afraid to finish and score a goal that's not in an empty net, Anthony Duclair. I believe that's his only goal. You get a face-off in the center zone, and what does Lundell do? He passes the puck with his hand. You can't do that. You can't do that in a face-off. Yeah, I mean, right away, everybody knew what he did. He looked like dumb. Like, I don't think he knows the rule. Because, A, why would you do that? They're going to see it. And B, he looked like he had no idea what just happened. No idea. Everybody knows what you just did. You cost them, you blew the game. Oh, it doesn't come down to one play. You know what? Sometimes it does. The Panthers, that was a killer. With 4.5 minutes left, Lundell takes a stupid penalty. So even if they didn't score there, you're down to 2 minutes left instead of 4. But they did score. Game over. Terrible. And you know what? Goldie and Moeller said before the game, too. Need Anton Lundell to step up. He's in a big spot here. He was filling in the center position for Sam Bennett, who remains out. Lundell's there in between Reinhart and Kachuk. Hey, major opportunity here. And what happens? Takes a penalty that ends up costing the team the game. Terrible. Terrible job out of Anton Lundell last night. All right. I don't want to get all carried away with it. You know what I'm saying? Because We got the Canes in the Final Four. Feel great about the Canes. We got Larinaga all over the place doing interviews. We got Katie Meyer all over the place doing interviews. Love it. I'm so pleased. Got something huge. And I'll tell you what, I'm very conflicted about Saturday night. I'm very conflicted. Zaslow, what are you so conflicted about? Saturday night's night one WrestleMania. Canes are in the Final Four. And WrestleMania's official card starts at 8 p.m. I was hoping maybe 7. I'm very conflicted. So WrestleMania's main card starts at 8 p.m., which means the show will probably go to 11:30. Kane's game is going to start a little bit before 9 p.m., which means it's going to end around the same time that, probably a little before WrestleMania ends. Am I going to have the entire Canes Final Four on the small TV in the Zaslow Mansion family room? Canes have never been in the Final Four. It's historic. Now, it's not like I wouldn't be paying a ton of attention. But are we jumping up and down, jumping around the room, watching the Canes on the small TV with it muted? I don't know what I'm going to do. What I may have to do, it may have to be Canes Final Four, small TV first half. And then in the second half, we may have to pause WrestleMania Night 1. Watch the Canes game on the big TV. Because WrestleMania can't go to the small TV. Can't have it muted. It loses the whole ambiance. Canes, big TV second half. And then when celebrating, when super excited about the Canes winning the national semifinal, we then watch the final, what are we talking? Hour of WrestleMania. That, or hour and a half of WrestleMania. That may be the way to go. I'm very conflicted about Saturday nights. Very conflicted. I'll tell you what I'm not conflicted about. Right quick here. And then we're going to get to Jack McClinton. I'll tell you what I'm not conflicted about. Another one of our brand new sponsors here on ZASLOW Show 2.0, Broward Meat and Fish. I told you I picked up a couple huge skirt steaks at Broward Meat and Fish last week. Barbecued, put it on the grill a couple nights ago. My wife said, Jonathan, that's what she calls me. Jonathan, are these the meat that you got from Broward Meat and Fish? I go, yes. You like it, right? She goes, amazing. I'm telling you, I've never seen a selection of meat and fish like I saw the very first time that I walked into Broward Meat and Fish. And we're not just talking, that's not all you can get there. We're talking full grocery shop at Broward Meat and Fish. You're getting everything there. But when we're talking about the meat, when we're talking about the fish, you're going to get not only everything that you need grocery-wise, but the butchers and the fishmongers at the full-service meat and seafood counter, they're going to prepare your cut exactly the way you want it. It's the freshest flavor and quality. And you know, I also love Broward Meat and Fish because for over 30 years now, they know what this community is about. They've been serving the Caribbean and Latin community for over 3 decades. On their shelves, stocked all kinds of international brands that remind all of us where we came from. It could be Jamaica, Haiti, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Peru. Find the location nearest to you at BrowardMeatandFish.com. I got one right here close to me in Pembroke Pines. Grand opening was a few weeks ago. Newest one. Incredible, incredible location in Margate. Find the location nearest to you, BrowardMeatandFish.com.